What was that? Must have come from outside. That was weird. The window's shut. Hello?
The calls are coming from inside. Do you hear me? They're coming from inside the house.
What is that? There's a card. Alright guys, so RAVENCALLER is one of the brand new cards from Hearthstone's newest expansion, the Witchwood. It is a 3-mana 2/1, it's a neutral common, and its battle cry reads, add 2 random 1-drops to your hand. So at first glance, we can probably note that the stats of this card are generally pretty weak. We don't really see a lot of 3-mana 2/1s in competitive Hearthstone. However, if the effect of the card is powerful enough for a specific archetype, we could maybe see it in some decks despite the weak stat line. So let's take a look at what kind of 1-drops we would actually be getting from this card. So I went through all of the 1-drops that will be in standard for the Year of the Raven and looked at them all and basically categorized them into a good, a neutral, and a bad category. So good cards are cards that are just simply well statted, so maybe like a Mana Worm or a Flame Imp. Also cards that might provide you a lot of utility, maybe a Righteous Protector or a Glacial Shard, or good cards could be ones that might provide you extra value like Crystalline Oracle or maybe a Cobalt Librarian. So with these good cards, you'll be getting them about 25% of the time. So what I consider a neutral card is a card that is good, but it typically won't have that big of an impact on the game overall. So cards like Voodoo Doctor, Argent Squire, or maybe a Young Priestess. So with these neutral cards, you'll be getting them about 38% of the time from RAVENCALLER. Bad cards are cards that would generally have like a 1/1 stat line or just 1 health without a battle cry or a death rattle to give you any extra benefit. They'd be easily cleared and disregarded by your opponent. I'm sure you guys can think of some pretty bad 1-drops that you wouldn't want. Maybe something like a Young Dragonhawk, a Feral Gibberer, an Angry Chicken. These types of cards, you'll be seeing them about 37% of the time from RAVENCALLER's battle cry. Alright, so this is basically just a breakdown of how good the cards will be. Now, please keep in mind this is just with my current knowledge of what 1-drops will be in rotation for the Year of the Raven. Obviously, there are going to be new 1-drops that could skew these stats and make it better or worse, so keep that in mind. If you high roll with this card, it could be really powerful, but because of the low chance there is to high roll with the card, it probably won't be breaking the meta anytime soon. However, I don't think the decks that would be playing this card are really going to care too much about the specific random 1-drops that you would get, and it's more about the card generation from its battle cry effect that would make it relevant for a deck. So let's talk about some of the deck archetypes that might decide to play RAVENCALLER. So the first thing that comes to mind for me is token decks. Over the course of Hearthstone history, we've seen a lot of 1-drops in token style of decks. So Token Druid or Token Shaman. Decks that play a lot of low-cost minions that are easily buffed and used to beat down your opponent. So perhaps RAVENCALLER will find its way into some kind of aggressive token deck to help generate a few extra 1-drops. I could also see Shaman playing this card, not just for its token aspect, but also for the fact that it is an understated minion for its mana cost. So, and it does provide you extra value generation as well. So even though Evolve is rotating out of Standard, we still have cards like Unstable Evolution and Thrall Deathseer, and I would say that this would be a good Evolve target, and it would give you more minions to also be evolved. Because Ravencaller is a card that generates more cards for your hand, perhaps it would find its way into cards that actually care about hand size. It would curve really well into something like a Twilight Drake, giving it more health, or a Mountain Giant, reducing its cost. A new card that cares about hand size is actually for Druid. It's called Whispering Woods, and it summons a 1/1 Wisp for each card in your hand. So I could see Ravencaller comboing really nicely with a card like this. Now, because Ravencaller is generating a couple of 1-drops that you probably don't care too much about, it's possible that it could find its way into some kind of a disco, a discard, or lock. Disco Lock could play this to generate a few cards that could be easily discarded without worrying too much about discarding your good stuff and losing card advantage. Another consideration for Ravencaller, might be a long shot, could be for the Hunter Quest, the Marsh Queen. I know we haven't seen too much play with the Hunter Quest, at least in Standard, but I have high hopes for it, maybe. Something to note about Hunter too is that a lot of its powerful cards are odd costed, which is a new theme of this new expansion, is odd and even cards. So Ravencaller is an odd card, 1-drops are odd, so maybe we could see some kind of powerful Hunter Quest deck emerging from the odd cost with Ravencaller in it. I don't know. Alright guys, so there you have it. That is my analysis of the brand new card, Ravencaller. Overall, I don't think the card is overly powerful, but I do think that it could find its way into very specific archetypes that rely on card generation. And also, I do think that it will be a solid arena pick. It's a card that provides extra value, and so yeah, I could see people picking it up. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are excited for the Witchwood expansion. I'm so excited and I can't wait. Thank you, Blizzard, for letting me reveal a card, and I hope to see you guys later on my channel. Bye, guys!